You probably think you're a good cruise passenger. Most people do. But cruise crew tell a very different story behind closed doors. The same passenger mistakes come up again and again. 17 of them, in fact. Some are annoying, some are surprisingly disrespectful, and chances are you've done at least one of them without realizing it. Let's see if you're guilty. Number 1. Snapping fingers or waving staff down mid-task. Let's start with one that crew mention constantly in interviews and forums, and it's probably more common than you think. Snapping your fingers at a crew member or aggressively waving them down while they're clearly in the middle of something else lands very differently than passengers seem to realize. Many cruise crew come from countries and cultures where that kind of gesture is considered genuinely disrespectful. They won't say anything. They can't. But it registers. According to accounts shared by current and former crew members on platforms like Reddit and Cruise Critic, this is one of the fastest ways to start a working relationship on the wrong foot. The simple fix: make eye contact, give a small nod, and wait a beat. It costs nothing, and crew will come to you. That's their job, and they want to do it, just not on a snap command. Number 2. Leaving the cabin in chaos every single morning. Your cabin steward is responsible for anywhere from 15 to 24 cabins depending on the ship and sailing. That's a lot of rooms to clean in a very short morning window. When a cabin is left with clothes covering every flat surface, dishes scattered around, trash on the floor, and bags blocking the pathways, that single room can throw off the entire schedule. What most passengers don't think about is that this directly affects their own service. A steward working against the clock means less thorough cleaning, less time for the little extras, and more stress for someone who's already working a 10-plus hour day. Small habits make a real difference. Stack dishes near the door, toss trash in the bin, clear a path. It takes 30 seconds, and it changes their entire morning. Number 3. The buffet behavior that gets noticed. Cruise ship buffets run under strict sanitation protocols, and for good reason. The buffet team is constantly monitoring for hygiene risks, resetting stations, and managing flow. So when passengers reach over sneeze guards, use their hands to sample food, double-dip serving utensils, or pile up multiple full plates just to try things and leave most of it behind, it creates real operational problems. Food stations sometimes have to be temporarily shut down for reset when contamination is suspected. That means delays for everyone in line. Behind the scenes, buffet staff deal with this more than any other crew role. The simple rule: use the serving utensils provided, take what you'll eat, and if you want to try several things, start with smaller portions. It's common courtesy that happens to also keep everyone's food safe. Number 4. Asking the wrong crew member for help. Cruise ships run on a surprisingly strict departmental structure. Your cabin steward handles your room. Your dining room server handles your meals. The excursion desk handles shore trips. Guest services handles billing and complaints. These aren't just job titles, they represent entirely separate chains of command. When a passenger asks their steward to fix a billing error, or asks a bartender about port arrival times, it puts that crew member in an impossible position. They genuinely can't help, but they also don't want to seem unhelpful. So they try to redirect, and sometimes the passenger gets frustrated with them for not knowing. Knowing which desk to go to isn't just polite, it gets your issue resolved faster. Guest services for anything administrative, the shore excursions desk for port questions, your server for dining preferences. It's that simple. Number 5. Venting about things no one on board can control. Rough seas. Port cancellations due to weather. A delayed departure because of a late connecting flight from another passenger. Crew hear about these constantly, and there is genuinely nothing they can do. What makes this particularly draining for crew is that they have to absorb the frustration with a calm, empathetic face, often for hours, while also managing everything else that comes with a sea day or schedule change. Former crew members interviewed by outlets like The Mirror and Business Insider have described port cancellation days as emotionally exhausting, not because of the logistics, but because of the passenger reaction. If something genuinely went wrong with a service or facility on the ship, by all means, report it. That feedback matters and leads to real changes. But acts of nature and operational logistics? Experienced cruisers have learned to roll with them, and they tend to enjoy their trips a lot more as a result. Number 6. Treating the muster drill like optional entertainment. Since the industry shifted to e-muster, where passengers watch the safety briefing on their phone or cabin TV before boarding, compliance has become a real issue on some ships. But even for in-person drills that still occur on certain lines, crew report the same problem: passengers talking over the safety officer, wandering off, or sitting on their phones and ignoring the whole thing. Here's what most passengers don't realize. Crew members are directly accountable for ensuring that everyone in their assigned muster station has been accounted for and properly briefed. When passengers make that harder, it delays the drill for the entire section. And on some ships, repeat non-compliance can be escalated to the captain's attention. This isn't bureaucratic box checking, it's maritime law, and crew take it seriously, even when passengers don't. Number 7. Public humiliation over small mistakes. Mistakes happen on cruise ships. Maybe it's the wrong order, or a delayed drink, or perhaps a room amenity that wasn't set up correctly. These things, well, they happen in any operation serving thousands of people. How a passenger responds to those moments, honestly, says a lot. Calling out a crew member loudly in front of other guests, using a condescending tone, or making a scene over something minor really creates a ripple effect. Other passengers notice. Other crew members hear about it. And while the crew member on the receiving end will remain professional, the experience affects them. Research on service industry workers consistently shows that public humiliation from customers is among the most psychologically damaging parts of the job. The smarter approach, and actually the one that gets better results, is to address issues privately and calmly. Crew are far more motivated to go the extra mile for guests who treat them with basic respect. It's not strategy, it's just human nature. Number 8. Removing auto gratuities without cause. This one generates a lot of debate online. But from the crew side, honestly, it's not complicated. Most cruise lines distribute auto gratuity funds across multiple departments: your cabin steward, your dining team, and behind-the-scenes crew who rarely interact with passengers directly. When those gratuities are removed, without any documented service failure or complaint, it affects people's income. Crew on forums and in interviews have noted that passengers who remove auto gratuities sometimes hand cash directly to a few visible crew members, thinking they've covered it. But that cash doesn't reach the kitchen staff, the behind-the-scenes workers, or the other team members who contributed to the experience. If you had a genuine service issue, guest services is the right place to address it before sailing ends. If everything was fine and you simply prefer cash tipping, consider leaving the auto gratuity in place and adding on top of it. The people it affects are counting on it. Number 9. No-shows for room service and reservations. This one surprises people. Ordering room service and not answering the door. Booking a specialty dining reservation or spa appointment and simply not showing up. No call, no cancellation. It happens constantly on cruise ships. And the impact, honestly, is more significant than most passengers realize. For crew in tipped roles, like spa therapists or specialty restaurant servers, a no-show appointment is lost income. For room service staff, it's wasted food and a trip that contributed nothing to their tip pool. On busy sailings, those slots could have gone to other passengers. A cancellation call made even 30 minutes in advance is enough. It's a minor effort that makes a genuine difference to people working long shifts on a tight commission structure. Number 10. Expecting exceptional service without any warmth. Here's a pattern that experienced cruisers will recognize immediately. Some passengers board with a transactional mindset. They want white glove service, personal touches, remembered preferences. But they've never once made eye contact with their steward, learned a crew member's name, or said thank you and actually meant it. The guests who consistently report the best service experiences, the surprise cabin decorations, the extra dessert that appeared without asking, the staff who remembered their coffee order from day one, are almost always the guests who treated crew warmly from the beginning. This isn't about being performance-friendly for better service, it's about basic human connection. Crew are away from their families for months at a time. A genuine moment of appreciation goes further than most passengers ever imagine. Number 11. Trying to negotiate set prices. Whether it's a drink at the bar, an item in the gift shop, or a spa add-on, crew members at service points have zero pricing authority. They didn't set the price. They cannot override it. They have no manager discount to apply. When a passenger insists on a deal, asks them to just this once adjust a price, or implies the crew member is being unhelpful for not bending the rules, it creates an uncomfortable moment that serves no one. The crew member genuinely cannot help, and the passenger walks away frustrated. If you have a concern about pricing or a charge, guest services is the right channel. They have the actual authority to review and adjust where appropriate. Going directly to the source of a price, the person ringing you up, is, well, the wrong door. Number 12. Impatience during embarkation and disembarkation. Embarkation day is one of the most logistically complex periods of any cruise. Crew are managing thousands of passengers through security, document verification, luggage handling, and safety protocols, often simultaneously. The same applies to disembarkation, which is even more time-sensitive because of port schedules. Passengers who push through lines, demand a board before their assigned group, repeatedly ask when will my cabin be ready, or get visibly frustrated with the pace, create friction at exactly the moment when crew have the least bandwidth to absorb it. Experienced cruisers have this down. Arrive at the right time for their boarding group, go straight to the buffet or pool deck on embarkation, let the flow work itself out. The ship isn't going anywhere without you. The process is designed to work. It just needs everyone to follow it. Number 13. Approaching off-duty crew with requests. Cruise crew typically work between 10 and 14 hours per day, with limited days off during a contract that can last 6 to 9 months. The time they do have to decompress, meals in their own mess, time on crew decks, moments between shifts, is genuinely precious. Spotting a crew member in a non-working context and asking them to handle a guest request puts them in an awkward position. They want to help, and they're trained to, but they're also off the clock, often mentally and physically exhausted, and those recovery moments matter for their well-being. Guest services operates around the clock specifically to avoid this situation. Any request at any hour can go through the front desk. Let crew have their downtime. It makes them better at their jobs for the rest of the sailing. Number 14. Filming or photographing crew without asking. Social media has made this more common than ever. Passengers filming crew at work, capturing them in the background of videos, posting without a second thought. But many cruise crew members come from countries and cultures where being filmed without consent is considered a serious boundary violation. Beyond culture, some crew members have personal privacy reasons for not wanting to appear in videos that will be posted publicly. Family situations, personal circumstances, or simply a preference for privacy that deserves to be respected. Asking is the obvious solution, and it takes 3 seconds. Do you mind if I take a photo? Most crew are happy to oblige and will even smile for it. The difference between asking and not asking is simply respect. Number 15. Acting like crew are invisible. No please. No thank you. No acknowledgement when someone refills your glass or holds a door. Talking over a crew member who's trying to help. Walking through a space without any recognition that the people working it are human beings. Crew are trained to maintain their professionalism regardless of how they're treated. And most of them do so impressively, for months at a time. But the cumulative effect of being treated as invisible takes a toll. Service industry research has documented this extensively. It affects morale, engagement, and the quality of care a worker can sustain over long periods. The cruisers who get the warmest, most genuinely enthusiastic service aren't the ones in the most expensive cabins. They're the ones who say good morning, use names when they know them, and treat every interaction like it involves a real person. Because it does. Number 16, assuming crew know every detail about every port. This is a widespread assumption that leads to a lot of unnecessary frustration. Many crew members have sailed to the same ports dozens of times, but have rarely, if ever, left the ship. Their experience of Nassau, or Cozumel, or Dubrovnik is from the port side, not the tourist side. Asking a crew member for detailed restaurant recommendations, local transportation advice, or nightlife suggestions, and then getting frustrated when they can't help, isn't fair to them. It's also not the best way for you to get good information. The Shore Excursions desk exists for this. Port guides are available at guest services. Fellow passengers who've visited a port before are often a great resource. Crew can point you to all of these, and that's genuinely where their help starts and ends, on the topic of what's good for dinner ashore. Number 17. Targeting crew members in post-cruise reviews for things outside their control. This is the one that matters most, and it's the one most passengers never think about. Cruise crew members, especially those in guest-facing roles, are evaluated heavily on post-cruise feedback scores. These scores affect their performance reviews, their renewal contracts, and in some cases, their onboard promotions. When a passenger leaves a negative review naming a specific crew member because the ship rocked too much, because a port was canceled, because the entertainment wasn't their style, because the food at the buffet didn't match expectations, that review can follow that crew member for their entire career. Even though they had nothing to do with the problem, this has been documented in accounts from crew on forums like Reddit and professional maritime communities. The impact is real. Post-cruise reviews should reflect the actual service you received from the individual. If a crew member was attentive, professional, and went above and beyond, say so. If they genuinely failed at their specific job, that's fair feedback. But holding someone responsible for the weather or corporate policy is something no review score should be used for. 17 things. And none of them were about being a bad passenger. They were about being an unaware one. Cruise crew work long hours, far from home, serving thousands of guests every sailing. A little awareness goes a long way. The next time you board a ship, you'll notice things differently. And chances are, your cruise experience will be better because of it. If you want to know what else cruise lines don't tell passengers before embarkation day, watch the next video. There are a few surprises waiting before you ever step on board.